Hi guys, welcome to this video and my endometriosis journey. I really wanted to speak to you about the journey and the process that I'm going through at the moment. So around 7 or 8 weeks ago now, I was diagnosed with having endometriosis. So I have been seeing various different gynecologist consultants over the last 18 months. And recently I saw a specialist who is also a sonographer, and he managed to identify the endometriosis via a transvaginal scan. Now, just to highlight that is pretty unusual. 9 times out of 10 you are still going to have a laparoscopy for a full endometriosis diagnosis, so just to make that clear. Endometriosis, if you aren't aware of it, is a condition whereby tissue similar to the lining of your womb grows in and around other parts of your womb, so around your fallopian tubes, around your ovaries, and it can grow in all different parts of the body. Mine specifically is growing around my bowels. As far back as I can remember now, I've always suffered from really bad periods. I have IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, and I've suffered with that pretty much for the last 15 years or so. I've been back and forwards, I've suffered from ovarian cysts and so on as well. But I'm going to speak a little bit more about my periods towards the end of the video, but just to give you a little bit of background and context as to what drove me to look into things a little bit further. I've been really fortunate and things have moved really swiftly for me over the last, I would say, 8 weeks since having that last scan and getting that diagnosis. I have private medical insurance, so I've been really fortunate to be able to get things moving, but you can have the laparoscopy procedure done via the NHS. So what I had done 4 weeks ago now was the laparoscopy, whereby they put a laparoscopic camera, they go through the navel and they make some further incisions in your bikini line, and they go in and have a look through there, and through the lower incisions, that's where they can essentially remove the endometriosis. I also had a hysteroscopy, which is a procedure where they go via the vaginal canal, and that's just to help them have a better look inside your womb as well. So I hope that you can follow me on this journey. There's a lot to follow, and I'm going to be going through the whole process, talking about the kinds of things that you're going to want to take with you for the procedure to make you feel as comfortable as possible, and also talk post-op about pain management and things like that as well. So I'll see you on the other side. Hi guys, so it's the evening before the operation. I'm feeling quite anxious about tomorrow, but I just wanted to do this video and speak to you about the things that I'm taking with me in preparation to make myself feel as comfortable as possible, really. It's been a really busy day. I have been working today. I probably should have taken the day off. So if you're watching this and you're preparing and going through the process, I would definitely recommend taking the day off the surgery, especially if you're working. Give yourself a little bit of a break and some time to prepare. I did some last minute housework when I got home. I went and got my eyebrows tinted. So I would definitely say take the day off of work. But I just want to talk you through the things that I'm taking with me for the operation. So the first thing that I'm taking is a dressing gown. I would definitely recommend for anybody having an overnight stay in hospital, or even if you're just going in for like a day surgery, take your own dressing gown because you want to feel comfortable afterwards. So that's number one key item. The second thing that I'm taking with me is these knickers. So these are oversized. I got a size 12 to 14, and I decided to size up because they say after the surgery, where they pump up your stomach with this gas, you're going to be really bloated. Also after the surgery, you're probably going to bleed a little bit, so you're going to need to wear some knickers to obviously hold a pad in place. So I thought I would size up on these so that there's nothing tight around my waist. They say that you're not going to want to have anything around your waist afterwards, so I thought I'd get a size up on these. I'm normally a size 8 to 10, but I thought I'd just go up for a bigger size, so definitely taking these with me. I also decided to go for some t-shirt dresses. I sized up on these as well. I think I went for a 10. I just thought it would be good to have something loose to wear afterwards, nothing tight again around my waist. So I've got a couple of these and just some for when I come home as well. And I've just sort of ironed everything so that I haven't got to worry about that when I get home, and I'm super comfy. Also night dresses over pajamas, and again the same kind of thing, just having everything loose around your stomach, and I've sized up on all of the night dresses as well, so definitely taking those. The next thing that I've packed are my period panties. Obviously I've got the other knickers and I'm also going to take some pads, but I thought if I'm not too bloated I might be able to squeeze my period knickers on. So period knickers are quite snug, obviously for obvious reasons, so that when you're wearing them you feel comfortable and you're not, you know, there's no gaps and stuff. So period knickers tend to be a little bit more snug than usual. So I'm not sure if I can wear these, hence why me having the other panties and taking some pads with me. So I'm going to take these just in case. The next thing that I'm taking is also my wheat wrap. So this is a wheat wrap. You put it in the microwave. It smells really good of lavender, and I've had this for quite a long time and it still smells great. It's really good. You literally put it in the microwave for 2 minutes. It's similar to using a hot water bottle. The only difference is with the wheat wrap is that it's quite flexible. So, you know, you can put it over your stomach, you can put it around your shoulders and so on. And they say that after the operation, from the gas that they pump into your stomach to blow it up, so they blow up your stomach so that they can see more inside with the laparoscopy procedure. So they do take the gas out. However, afterwards, there's still some of the gas that hasn't worked its way out and it tends to move around in your body. So they say that you get pain in your shoulders and in your chest. So I thought this would be quite good to bring with me because I can put it around my shoulders and chest quite easily. And you can also put it on your stomach as well. So it's quite flexible. It's really good just for pain in general across your body. So definitely bring in that. This is one of my favourite things at the moment in life. So it's activated charcoal. If you haven't heard of this and you suffer with endometriosis and you get lots of bloating, I would definitely 1000% recommend that you try this. It's the only thing that really helps alleviate any pain that I have with endometriosis and being bloated and my stomach being massive and feeling really tight when I'm really bloated and really gassy. So it's so good. You literally take 2 capsules after meals, so every meal 2 capsules, and it helps get all of the gas out. So I'm hoping that it might help with the gas that I'm going to have in my stomach, but just anyway, I'm going to bring this. So definitely recommend, if you haven't tried activated charcoal, you can get it in Holland and Barrett or any other health store, but it's amazing. And last but not least, I'm going to take a furry friend just because I'm staying overnight by myself. I want a bit of company, and as I said earlier, I am feeling a bit anxious about the surgery. So I hope you liked the video and I will see you on the other side. So I've just arrived at Ashford Hospital. I'm going to get changed. They've given me some slippers, a night dress, and I've got these pants to change into. Know which way they go. There we go. So I'm going to get changed and get ready to go down. So I've just come around after the surgery, feeling pretty groggy. My throat's quite sore. I briefly saw the consultant who said things went well. He's going to come back up shortly just to talk through what happened. Just had some oral morph because I'm in quite a bit of pain. But yeah, feeling okay. So I've managed to get changed into my own clothes now, as you can see. It was really painful to sit up and stand up as well, so I had to get some help from the nurse and also family member as well. I've got quite a bit of pain going through my shoulders and my chest, and that's just from the gas that they put into your stomach to do the laparoscopy. So yeah, I've just had another round of oral morph, so that's good. I managed to speak to the consultant following the procedure, and there's some good and bad news, I guess. The good news is that my fertility is looking good. They did a dye test on my tubes, and my tubes are all clear, so that looks good, and my ovaries are looking good as well. The not so great news is that in 3 or 4 months' time I'll need to come back and essentially have the whole procedure done again, so the laparoscopy, again with hysteroscopy, to remove the endometriosis that's around my bowels. So the majority of it is at the back of my womb. So yeah, I'm going to get some sleep now. So I'm just getting ready to go home now. I'm feeling a lot better than what I was yesterday. I'm still in quite a bit of pain, and getting on and off the bed is quite difficult. When I do stand up, I'm quite hunched over. I can't fully stretch up yet. I just wanted to show you my stomach. Still quite bloated. So this is obviously the where they went in through the belly button, and then there's another incision a little bit lower down. But yeah, I'm still quite bloated on here, but hopefully that will go down in the next few days. So I'm gonna head home now. Hi guys, so it's day 6 post-op. I'm feeling so much better today than I have been the last few days. I would definitely say if you don't, if you live alone or you don't live near to your friends, definitely make sure that you've got a support network around you post-op, because you're going to need lots of help and support, especially the first few days. You'll find it quite difficult to move around. You're going to be really bloated. I still can't fully stand up straight and straighten out my back. I'm getting there, but I would definitely say make sure that you've got some friends and family on hand. I've been really fortunate. I've had my partner stay with me for the last few days, and I've had sort of friends and family come in each day as well to help out. I'm pretty much mobile now. I'm doing most things for myself, so I'm showering completely by myself, getting myself dressed, making small meals, and just sort of tidying up around the house as well. So I'm pretty much there in terms of mobility now. Pain wise, I would say the pain has pretty much subsided. The only time that I'm having pain is when I'm trying to get up off of the sofa, or if I'm trying to sit fully back on the sort of sofa or bed. So I'm using my arms to help me go back, because I'm still not able to fully sit back down. I guess you use a lot of your core muscles when you're sitting up and down off of a chair, so that's still quite uncomfortable and can be quite painful, especially around the belly button area where the main incision is. Also, I'm not sleeping on my side at the moment still, so I currently sleep on I normally sleep on my side all the time, and currently I'm sleeping on my back. So that's quite uncomfortable, because it's not, I'm used to sleeping on my side. So I'm not fully there in terms of mobility, but I'm getting there. And each day post-op, you will notice a difference as well in terms of, the improvement of how you're doing. I would definitely say in terms of the pain, so the majority of the pain has been sort of around my stomach, around my belly button, so navel area, and also my shoulders and chest. So they put gas into your stomach to pump your stomach up during the op. When they insert the camera for the laparoscopy, they can see more in your stomach, so they pump you up. And then when they finish the surgery, they do, sort of deflate that and remove as much of the gas as possible, but there is some that is still left in your stomach. And once that moves around, so when you move around, so the more mobile you are, it sort of moves the gas around, and you need to do that to get the gas out, but it's really painful. And I would say up until even yesterday, I was noticing the pain around my shoulders and my chest, and it's really, really intense. And it can be sort of all over your stomach as well, and you're really bloated. It hasn't gone back to normal just yet, but most of the bloating has gone down in terms of the gas. In terms of pain, I would say the pain, I've had worse periods, to be completely honest, in terms of the pain. I would say once I was home. At the hospital, during the hospital, obviously I was taking Oromorph, so definitely not. But once I was home, I would say the pain is not, it's bad, but it's not that bad. It's more the mobility and the fact that you can't sit up, and it's really painful to sit up and get up off of the chair. So yeah, so that's my experience of the pain anyway. When I was discharged, I was given codeine and paracetamol. I haven't actually taken codeine before, so I was discharged on Friday, so I only had one night stay at hospital. I was discharged around 2:30 in the afternoon, then came home, was doing okay, was pretty much chilling out on the sofa. I was moving around, but only just sort of to get up and go to the bathroom, and that was pretty much it. I would say that I took the codeine around 5 o'clock, and about an hour or so after taking the codeine, I slowly started to notice I was itching, in different parts of my body. And then about half an hour to 45 minutes later, my whole body was literally, it felt like my body was on fire. I was itching everywhere, like my back. I I was literally like, this isn't normal, there's something wrong. So I called the hospital. My partner had actually stepped out to go and get a few bits, so I called the hospital. They gave me like a number to call just in case, you know, post-op any issues and concerns. So I called them, and they said it sounded as though I was having a bit of a reaction to the medication that they had given me, and that if somebody could bring me in to come back in. So we went back into the hospital that evening, and they pretty much confirmed that, you know, I'm obviously having some sort of reaction, or was having a reaction to the medication. And it sounded as though it was the codeine, because the Oromorph I was taking for between 24 and 30 hours, and I didn't have any reaction to that. So I pretty much think, you know, within a couple of hours of taking the codeine, I had this reaction. So they gave me some antihistamines, and they also gave me some ibuprofen. Now, I would say after that point, the pain was quite intense, because, I mean, I'm pretty much used to taking ibuprofen. I take ibuprofen and paracetamol back to back most months for my period, because the pain is that intense. The ibuprofen that they did give me was 400 milligrams, which is stronger than what you get over the counter. So over the counter, you normally get 200 milligrams, but you can only take that ibuprofen, the 400 milligrams, 3 times a day. So I would say that I definitely felt a lot more pain after that point. Also, with having the reaction and everything like that, it was quite unsettling. So that was quite difficult just in terms of settling in after that period. And so the ibuprofen, I actually only had a bowel movement today. I think that the ibuprofen probably had an effect on that. And also I would say, because the endometriosis is around my bowel, perhaps where they were sort of prodding around that area, maybe that's kind of slowed things down a little bit. I didn't really take any precautions in terms of getting a laxative and stuff like that, but I did drink some prune juice last night and this morning, so that's definitely helped with the bowel movement. It was really painful. I would say I was on the toilet for about an hour. So I would definitely recommend that you get something ahead of coming home, just in preparation for the fact that you may be constipated afterwards. So I just wanted to speak to you a little bit about my journey, and just, you know, endometriosis and my periods and the background of things. So pretty much, you know, as far back as I can remember, I've always had really bad periods. So I started my period, I was around 11, 12, I would say. Started off, well, I guess I would say normal, but I guess that's for what I would call normal. And then I would say within about a year or so, I started to notice that my periods were really heavy, really painful, and they've kind of continued like that over the years, really. I have had some breaks, so there have been certain contraceptive pills that I've been on that have really helped my periods. So Yasmin is one that I would definitely say helped my periods. I was on that for a few years, and I didn't really have any pains during that time. But also to remember that once you're on the pill, you're not actually having a period, you're just having a bleed, essentially. So always had really, really, really bad periods. I would say that around my period is when I have the most IBS symptoms. I'm constipated, I get trapped wind, so lots of gas. I've literally been to hospital in an ambulance before on gas and air, because I've felt that something was seriously wrong with me, something, you know, really bad was happening, because the pain is literally a 10. So I would say that my experience of periods have been quite bad, up and down really, over the years. So the last few years, so about 3 or 4 years ago, I came off of Yasmin. I wanted to give my body a break. I've been on the pill sort of on and off for the best part of 10, 12 years. So I really wanted to just give my body a break from that. And I would say over the last few years, my periods have sort of come back, and they've got progressively worse. So the last 18 months, really, I would say I've noticed the biggest change. I've been getting hormonal cysts. So what the gynecologists have said they think is happening is that each month when I am ovulating and releasing an egg, the egg is essentially filling up with blood, and that's creating a cyst. So I've been getting those sort of on and off for the last 18 months. I've been going back and forwards. And then most recently, I saw a new gynecologist, Dr. Jan. I had some further internal scans. I actually had the scan done by a sonographer who is also a gynecologist consultant, Professor Bourne. And pretty much, you know, straight away they said there is, you know, endometriosis. It looks as though it is endometriosis. So one of the things just to highlight, they can't always see endometriosis with scans, whether it's internal or not. Endometriosis is so embedded, or can be so embedded within your womb, it can be within your fallopian tubes and stuff like that. So it can be really, really hard to see just by looking at a scan. So, you know, 9 times out of 10, they are going to need to go in and do a laparoscopy in order to diagnose you with the endometriosis. Obviously, following the, you know, diagnosis, I was really upset, really emotional. One of the main things I've done a lot of research about endometriosis, and one of the main things, if you Google it, you know, that it comes up, or you speak to people, say, oh, you know, it can cause infertility, or people always, you know, fertility is one of the first things that people mention. So I was definitely, you know, really emotional, and I was a bit worried about my fertility. That was one of the things that was on my mind, as well as all these symptoms and stuff that I've been going through. The fertility has always been at the sort of forefront, and thinking, okay, is this going to be an issue for me? And I think most women, especially most women who don't have children and have these problems, there will be a little bit of worry and anxiety. So one of the things that I would say following the op, you know, as I mentioned earlier, they did a dye test. So part of the laparoscopy, part of the procedure, whilst they were in there, they did a dye test, and that's where they put some dye through your fallopian tubes. And that was all clear, it was all looking good. So the consultant has pretty much said that, you know, once they do this procedure, my fertility should pretty much be okay. So I was so relieved and so grateful just to hear that, because it was definitely a worry and an anxiety of mine before the surgery. It was something that was on my mind, and I just thought, I just want this to be okay. So I would definitely say that, you know, if you are having any of these, you know, thoughts and stuff, and you're having similar symptoms to me, and, you know, you have a worry in the back of your mind, it's definitely worth checking out, getting referred, and going and speaking to a gynecologist about it. So just sort of next steps really for me. You know, following the op, I was really happy about the fertility, and, you know, like I said, it was a, you know, sort of a weight off of my shoulders. But at the same time, I know that I've got to go back in a few months' time and have the procedure done again. So I would say that I'm happy that I know what needs to be done. So the next 3 months, so each month I'm going to have a hormone, so I'm going to have an injection, so once a month for the next 3 months, and then in about 3 months' time I'm going to then have the final operation with the bowel consultant present. So following the procedure, you know, the majority of the endometriosis was around my bowel, and just in order to be able to operate around that area, there needs to be a bowel specialist present really. So fingers crossed for that. I will update you throughout the journey, I guess, and then hopefully at the end of it I can do a follow-up. So hope you liked the video.